Part two of our drivers' press conference here at Monza. We're joined this time by closest to me Charles Leclerc, then Lewis Hamilton and Nico Hulkenberg. Welcome all three. Charles, why don't I start with you? Everything okay? Yep. So, two podiums in a row for you. Things seem to be going well. Just how much confidence do you have coming into the team's home race?
I don't let the last two races change our expectations. We are in a difficult moment for the team. We are struggling a little bit with pace at the moment. I think we understood quite a few things since Zandvoort, especially on what happened on Saturday, where our performance was quite far from ideal. But on the Sunday, it was a good race. In Spa, it was good as well. Here, it should be a bit more in the direction of Spa. So hopefully we'll be a bit more in the fight for the podium. However, for the win, I don't think we quite have that yet.
Well, you have some upgrades here, and as you say, the car was good at Spa, so are you hopeful about it in low downforce trim?
I think we are in a better position than on a higher downforce track, so it should be, it should be a bit better. How much better, it's still to be seen. We'll also have some upgrades on the car, which should go in the right direction. So hopefully when we put everything together, we are closer than where we were in the last few races.
Charles, that's the key, isn't it? Putting everything together. I mean, from these upgrades, is there one thing that you need? Is it just better consistency?
Let's say that there were very specific characteristics of the car that we had to improve. I'm not going to go too much into details, and those upgrades should help us. Then we'll see, because I don't think Monza is the best track to judge those upgrades. Probably Baku or Singapore will be a more of a test for us, but it should go in the right direction anyway. But by how much, I don't know yet.
All right, Charles, final one from me. We're at Monza, Ferrari's home race. You're sat next to Lewis Hamilton, your teammate in 2025. So I think this might be the perfect opportunity for you to just give him some advice about what it's like being a Ferrari driver. What can he expect?
I don't think Lewis needs any kind of advice, but it's definitely very, very special to be driving for Ferrari in Monza and in Italy. There's something that is iconic, and yeah, it's such a special feeling. The amount of support we have. We obviously have it everywhere in the world, but whenever we are in Italy, it's extra special. It's difficult to get in and out of the hotel every morning and every evening, but it's a very special feeling, and we have so much support, so it's motivating us at the maximum. But Lewis will be experiencing that next year, and we'll experience that together, and I'm sure it will be a special year, but until then we've got to maximize and hopefully put the car a bit higher up in the standing.
All right, thank you for that. And Lewis, coming to you, just given what's happening next year, does it feel different for you being in Monza this year?
Hi everyone. I'm not going to lie, it definitely does feel a little bit different. I mean, it always feels special when you come here. We're coming here at a decent time in terms of the weather's incredible today. Obviously, the huge changes they've made to the track. But as Charles was saying, there's always such incredible passion throughout Italy, just in the culture in general, but particularly about racing. And it's always exciting just to see the fans that we're going to see throughout the weekend. The passion here and the excitement that they really bring to this race is really not particularly matched in too many places.
Well, let's talk about you and performance now. The team has had six consecutive podiums prior to last weekend. How much of a shock was the performance of the car at Zandvoort?
It wasn't that it was a shock. We struggled to get the balance in the perfect window, and I think you could see with these cars today, particularly with our car, but I think many teams experience it. It's kind of on a knife edge, and can easily go one way or the other. In hindsight, we look back on some things and we would have done things slightly differently. Actual pace-wise, I would think I was the third fastest through average through the race. So our race pace wasn't terrible, and it didn't really show, the results didn't show the true performance in the race, but qualifying needed to be a bit better.
Given your pace at Spa, which you won, and of course the pace of the car in Montreal, are you a little bit more hopeful this weekend in low downforce trim?
I mean, as I said, we've learned quite a lot from last weekend, so I'm definitely more hopeful coming into this weekend that the car will be nicer to drive again. But you've got others that are bringing upgrades this weekend, so you have to expect Ferrari going to be quick with their upgrade. You have to expect that McLaren, with the advantage in the last lap that he was able to pull out in the last race, they're going to be rapid this weekend. So I'm just hopeful that we're there or thereabouts.
Look, final one from me about Kimi Antonelli, who's doing FP1 for the team on Friday. He's only just turned 18. Just what kind of a talent is he?
Well, I mean, I said a long time ago that I think that's who the team should choose moving forwards, and time will tell what they didn't end up deciding to do. But I think no, he's one of those young, super talented kids that's come through. I mean, he's a young adult now, but yeah, he's only 18. So I think it'd be good for people just to remember he is just turning 18 and he's got a bright future ahead of him. And I'm really excited to see and watch his progress. I saw a picture earlier on of us back in, I think, 2018, and he was one of the grid kids. And I'm like shaking his hand at the front of the grid. So it's obviously reminds you how old you are when you have those experiences. But looking forward to seeing his growth and his journey through into Formula 1.
Lewis, thank you for that. Nico, thank you for waiting. Look, after the highs of Austria and Silverstone, the last few races have been a bit harder, a bit more challenging for the team. Are you confident that the layout of Monza will play more to the strengths of the car?
Frankly, not super confident. Last year was a struggle here. This year, I mean, the car's been much better on a whole on all type of circuits. But yeah, like you say, the last 3 races have been challenging. I think we didn't quite maximize our weekends. On top of that, in Spa, in particular, we weren't competitive enough here. So it's difficult to judge. I'd rather do some laps tomorrow and see how the package feels here.
Well, what about the new asphalt, the new curbs? Does that make it more of an opportunity for someone?
Yeah, it's all real. It happens. There is new asphalt, there's new curbs. So we go out there and learn about them tomorrow. See, how the tires cope with it, how that might change, some little details. Overall, obviously, the layout is the same, but yeah, all these other small things been tweaked. But overall, Monza, one of my favorite events. It's an amazing atmosphere here. The Tifosi, the energy is incredible. So look forward to the weekend ahead.
And Nico, your new boss, Mattia Binotto, is going to be in attendance
Not
this
just
weekend.
Yet. You're a bit ahead of yourself.
But he's going to be in attendance this weekend. Audi are in less than 18 months now. I just wanted your thoughts on what you think job number 1 for Mattia is at the team.
Well, obviously, it's early days for him. He's just arrived at the team, so obviously he needs to, make himself aware of the situation, get a picture of what's going on, understand all the departments, the people, and then I'm sure he has some ideas how to, optimize it and take it a step further. So I guess that's the process that he's in now, and he'll start working.
And one of the few seats that's still up for grabs for next year is the second Sauber. Would you like youth or experience alongside you?
To be honest, open subject. It's a subject, and a thing that's not in my power. I have no say, nothing to do with it. To be honest, I'm open. I'd like the best and strongest teammate possible, because I think you need 2 strong drivers. It's incredibly competitive in Formula 1, so it's important to have the best duo possible.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much. Let's open this to the broadcasters now. Who's first? David.
David Croft, Sky Sports F1. Lewis, if I could go back to you on the subject of Kimi Antonelli. What has he got that made you think a long time ago, yeah, he's the guy that Mercedes should be taking for the future? What is it about his racing? What is it about him that made him or makes him a suitable candidate in your eyes?
I think we've been watching him through the different formulas. I think naturally he's a Mercedes driver. I just think that we are starting to see a lot younger drivers coming through. And I think we're just in that time where, you know, there's only 20 seats, and I think it's time we're starting to see this new wave come through. In terms of taking on another driver that's had many years of experience as opposed to giving an opportunity to a youngster, that's what McLaren did for me, and it worked out well. So in my opinion, it's just an opportunity for him to grow. He's going to get to work. He would get to work with the best in class, learn from people that I've worked with for so many years. So, but it is a lot of weight on someone's shoulders. But as I said, it's a great environment that I think they will just be able to nurture him and carry him through it. But yeah, but there are other really good options. So you'd have to ask Toto which one he's leaning towards.
Thank you, Lewis. All right, next one.
Roldan Rodriguez from Dazón Spain. A question to Charles. Ferrari here in Monza is the most successful team in the history, but as well in the last years, looks like Ferrari always performs here properly. You as a team, as Ferrari, is this a race where you feel like you must do better than anywhere else?
I wouldn't say the feeling is that we must do better. However, there's definitely a huge motivation, because it's not only a normal weekend that starts from the Thursday to the Sunday, but it starts already from Monday in Maranello, where we have so many tifosi, and that obviously motivates everybody. It seems and it looks like we've had a pretty strong car with a very low downforce package, even in the last few years where performance was not as good. So that's positive, because it's our home race, and as much as it's giving exactly the same amount of points as other races, emotionally speaking, and for the whole team, it's definitely a special one. So it's really important for everybody to do well. Yeah, however, we are not doing anything different to perform better at this track. It just happened that our low downforce package in the last few years was pretty good, and whenever we came here, we were on the good side of our performances.
Thank you, Charles. Yes, next one.
Oli Zwartjes, Sky Germany. Charles, can you describe the myth of Monza, especially as a Ferrari driver?
Again, it's crazy. It's such a special feeling, because you can really see and feel the passion of the tifosi and all the people that are traveling to Monza for Ferrari, how much it means for them to actually be here, see us dressed in red, not this weekend, because I'm in black this weekend, but however, even to see the mechanics or engineers, the tifosi are so happy, and they are not only supporting the drivers, but obviously they are supporting Ferrari as a whole, and every team members. It's a special experience for everybody within the team. So it's a very, very special weekend. It's a tiring week, and that's where it's important to keep your energy for the Sunday, but let's say it's positive energy, and you get a lot of support. And yeah, as I said, from the Monday to the Sunday, it's just a very special week.
Thank you, Charles. Next
Hello,
one.
Panos Eitanidis from Antena TV Greece. A question for all three. Now that we have a calendar with 24 races, how important do you think breaks like the summer break are for the whole team? Both for you, but also, you know, for the common members, the mechanics, and every member of the team to have this time off and have full batteries.
Just in the interest of time, we'll keep it to two. Nico, let's start with you.
Yeah, I think it's very important, these breaks. It's a demanding schedule, 24 races more than ever. We have triple headers, which, you know, are very tough on a lot of the team members that kind of, you know, work long hours and are flat out pretty much for 3 weeks. So summer break is important. We have another long break or longer break after Singapore. And personally, I feel this year the schedule is a bit more balanced with more breaks, and I'm sure for team members involved that have the hardest jobs, that's really appreciated, and it's positive. And
Charles, how about you?
Yeah, I think as drivers we cannot really complain. We travel in the best, in the best possible way. We stay in great hotels, and we also have a program that is fitted for for an athlete, so we try and go to sleep relatively early and sleep as much as possible, and everything is done for our well-being. However, for the mechanics, for the engineers, sometimes there's a lot of work. They get to the track much earlier, they leave the track much later, and so it's a lot more difficult, and also to just have a normal life outside of racing, it's very difficult. So it's definitely needed, but as a driver I can't complain. But I will say that 24 races is probably the maximum, or at least the sweet spot. More than that will be too much.
All right, thanks both. The next one, yeah.
Question to Luis, Nicola Severini, Sky Sport Italy. What kind of welcome do you expect here this year, and it may be different from the past? Tifosi?
I mean, I don't know what to expect. If I'm honest, the last couple of years, I mean, over the last few years, I've had a really warm welcome every time I've come, to be honest. There was one time when we were really fighting against Ferrari. I can't remember what year that was, but even then, people were positive. There was never any negativity. I think over the past few years, I've heard Vieni Ferrari? How do you say come to Ferrari?
Vieni in Ferrari.
Vieni in Ferrari, yeah. So I heard that quite a lot, and so it'll be interesting to see how that is this year. But already in Imola, for example, I got a really warm reception, and there was this amazing picture of me, you, and Fred. Did you see it?